What's up? What's up? What is up? It's another Friday, another opportunity, rather, with another episode to do what we do, which is bring you sports, business, and entertainment. I'm trying to hit this little button. I don't know what's going on, but oh well. Technical difficulties. But this is another Friday. So it's another opportunity for us to get together and record the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. Two of the crew are in the building. My man, the Big Flow Show, coming to you from the Middle Coast. What's up, man? The man, the myth, the legend, thou who shall be intergalactically respected as the Big Flow Show. What's up, good brother?
Man, nothing was good, big family. Just looking forward to doing the show. I've been off, missed too many Fridays. It's weird, There's a lot of stuff I've been hoping to share with you guys, and I haven't been able to share it. Some of it's old news. Some things have changed and developed, but we're gonna do our best today.
Man, ain't no better opportunity than this opportunity to go and take advantage of this opportunity. So we are back. Labor Day is that normally signifies when everybody got to get back to work. So
Back to
just
work.
like everybody else, we got to get our ass back to work. The summer Fridays are behind us. Now we're gonna bring you this phone, bring you this fire, bring you this sports business entertainment. The only way that we know how rough, rugged, and raw is sports business entertainment. The whole crew, not the whole crew, two of the three are in the building, but the whole crew in terms of energy is in the building. You ready to do this Big Flow Show? It's the post
Absolutely.
Labor Day. Got to get back to work. Today's episode is going by Fantastical Sport. That's right, Fantastical Sport. And while we are running the opener, you know how we do with the intro song. I'll let y'all look up Fantastical for us SAT folk. But it's going to be a fantastical show. And with no further ado, boys and girls, cats and rats, dogs and frogs, and anybody and everybody that loves them some sports business entertainment. Oh, you know how we do it. We start with these words. Let's go.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, and stay woke. Cause this is the Ball Hawk Sports Talk with your boy, B Brown, ESQ, aka the Ball Hog, aka the Mouth of the South. This is the place where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we're gonna give it to you rough, rugged, and raw. So come get you a spoonful, like some grits with butter and salt. You know how we do it in the South, y'all. Make sure you do not get caught in your feelings. Strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Come on, let's go, 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 go.
You know what it is. Once again, it's on. Once again, it's on. Right back to the
Like Donkey
microphone.
Kong.
Like Donkey Kong. You can go that route as well. But either way, man, beyond the rhyme skills, we finally made the time skills. You see how I did that? Yeah, I'm saying, yeah.
Sometimes it's a lot of work to get here. I don't know how hard it is to get the schedules together. And Bobby and Ellis and I, we do got to make a living. We're gonna start one of those Patreon accounts. So maybe we don't have to work. We can make this top priority. But until
Top
then,
priority. Until then,
we got to
until you ready to break off a little something financially, we
We
gonna
need
get here when we can.
401k, insurance, all that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when
I
that
was going
happens,
from stop one of my work trip to stop two, and my man's in them, the Ball Hog Sports Talk crew, was very patient in allowing me to use the afternoon hour. So here we are, man, in the afternoon hour. We're in the
yeah,
afternoon hour, but we're gonna bring that morning funk. That good stuff when you wake up, breath smelling like, that's the kind of funk we about to bring, and it's gonna be sports business entertainment. So get ready to make that face, that ugly face, that stinking face, because we starting off with some good stuff, man. Now, fantasy football is back. But before we get to fantasy football, I wanted everyone to kind of bear with us for a second because you and I had a meaningful conversation. We have several meaningful conversations, but today it was about sports, specifically our role as sports parents. And, I've been checking myself lately. My son's still coming off the broken foot, and I'm ready for him to get back out there. I had to check myself, and as a good friend, as you are to me, you helped me with seeing it a different way. And so I think our audience should hear that in terms of where we are as sports parents, what our role is, how we sometimes put undue, unfair, unrealistic pressures on our kids that are sports kids. If you would, man, share a little bit about our conversation before we get started.
I'm gonna tell you the conclusion. I'm gonna tell you kind of what prompted me to come to this conclusion. What I was starting to think about is, I realize I'm intense. Everybody who knows me knows I wear my heart on my sleeve when it comes to my kids. They know I love to talk football. I love to talk sports. Um, I realize I'm putting way too much undue sports pressure on my children.
Mhm.
Both my kids are going through it right now. So my son's trying to battle to get on the 2 deep roster, see if he can get on the field. Didn't play last week in the game. Obviously, that was upsetting to us, upsetting to him. My daughter, she's battling through some demons to try to get back and get on the court. She wants to be recruited and the
Mhm.
pressure of the world and do whatever. But I realize that at this point in their lives, I want to say we've raised them to a point where they got good values, a good work ethic, and good understanding of what's going on. I need to come back and just be who they want me to be, who they need me to be, and not who I think I should be. I want to
Oh,
fix everything. I want to give them the plan of action, go talk to the coach and tell them this, go do this in practice, do that in practice. And what I realized is my son starts pulling back, and he didn't really want to talk to me about stuff anymore. He's going dark.
mhm.
So I took a step back and said, look, I'm not an overly religious guy, but my son has a very strong faith. I definitely believe in God. My daughter, probably not as faithful as my son is, but believes in God. So I just said I'm gonna go back and just start hitting them with the daily prayer. So I reached out to my Notre Dame brethren and asked them to share the prayer that we would do
I
before
was
the game.
wondering why you sent that text, but now
Sent
that
that
it's full
text.
circle, makes
Yeah,
a lot.
full circle. And I shared that text that we do to attack the day. So, I made a pact with my kids that we would read it every morning and then we would just check in and say done every day. And I feel like they both jumped on it. They both really wanted to do it. They both, come back only a couple days in to do whatever. But this is the prayer we say before the game. This is the beginning of a new day. God has given me this day to use as I will. I can waste it or I can use it for good. But what I do today is important because I'm exchanging a day out of my life for it. When tomorrow comes, this day will be gone forever, leaving in its place that which I had traded. I want it to be gain, not loss, good, not evil, success, not failure. I know I shall not regret the price I paid because the future is just a whole string of nows. Now, we would say that before every game, and I kind of liked it because it made a lot of sense. And my message to my kid is attack your day that way. Get up, attack the day, realize it's a blessing, and we do it. Now, what brought me to that and kind of gave me some humbleness and perspective. Unfortunately, we have
Hold on, because I don't want to. I'm going to separate the two. I wanted to make sure that when we talk about it now, everyone understood where the launch pad for that was. I'm a coach, youth football. I'm tough on my kids too. And we had this moment where I was sort of checking myself. And you talked about, your approach, which I think is dope, by the way, going back to prayer, the foundation, and sharing that with your kids and seeing that it's been well received. They're opening up and talking more because it's not about, for your daughter, how many spikes she had. I don't know if the jargon in volleyball, but you know what I'm saying.
We call them kills, which is even worse. But we call
skills
them
that you have, right?
Yeah.
Especially once they hear this next part. But then you added this next part, and so it gave me even more appreciation for a friend that is a real friend and is okay with checking me when I need to be checked as a dad and holding my feet to the fire. But then b appreciating just how sensitive the topics can be. So I'm giving them that, and then I'll allow you.
And let me, before we segue in that, is a lot of my friends that talk to me will know, I'll make complaints like during the recruiting process. I make complaints, or during the process now, my son's, at school making complaints, and I always end it to check myself, and I say these are first world problems, right? I don't want to think this pales in comparison to some other problems, because at the end of the day, my son, is on his way to getting a degree from a great university that he has no business attending if it wasn't for the fact that he could play football and that we couldn't afford to send him to, right? Well, he's over there doing that. So he's already won, so to speak.
Winning.
You know what I mean? He's in the middle of winning.
Yes.
And I have every faith that he's going to win, but I want all of it. We want it all. But I just feel like the pressure I'm putting on him is tough. So I do realize these are first world problems that we discussed.
Yeah.
But then this experience happened. We got a phone call. I got a phone call from a friend the other day telling me that one of the kids that came out of our youth football program that I've known since he probably was in like fourth grade took his life. back at school, went back to school, and took his life. You know, I don't want to share his family name or anything like that. We keep his business out of there and not turn it into show fodder. But, you know, going to the funeral, you know, his dad hugged me and said, you know, make sure you just hug your kids every day. That's all you can do. Just hug them every day and do what you got to go do.
Right.
And I talked to his, you know, he's got some siblings he left behind, just talking about what they're doing. And I just look at it and obviously, you know, just because things are going good in your life in general doesn't mean you can't have problems. But when you start to think about the perspective of the problem this family's faced with, and this isn't the first dad I've had to hug because their kid has taken their life, unfortunately, or died young tragically in this town. There's been too much of that. And I guess the way I look at it is you know, the pressure that I think I put on my children, to the point where I feel like my son feels he can't talk to me because he feels like he can't talk to me because he doesn't think that, I don't know if he thinks I'm going to be disappointed and do whatever. And I can't be disappointed in the guy. I mean, obviously I can be disappointed in things he's going to do, but like when it comes to whether he gets on the field this year or next year, whatever, I'm confident he's going to get on the field, whether it's this week or next week or something. I know he can play and I know he can do what he's going to go do. But I found myself every time I'm talking to him, how was practice? Did you do this? Did you get reps with the ones? Did you catch the ball? Did you tuck it in? Did you do this? Shit, man, he might want to just ask me, man, Dad, what did you make on the grill, Dad? What did you do? Right. You know, and after this prayer thing that we sent out, my son sends a picture. Actually, I take it back. This was before the picture. This is before the prayer thing I brought up. My son sends a picture to the family chat, which he never does, and he sends, my mustache was way sweeter than Dad's was back in the day, and he got this mustache going right now. I said, man, you know, I thought this is what we're supposed to be doing.
Right. This has been,
you know what I mean?
Family.
This is
Absolutely.
the levity that we're supposed to have right now, because I know you're busting your ass at practice. I know that you've been in meetings all day. I know your hand is swollen. I know your knees are swollen. I know your shoulder's swollen and it's hurt. And whether or not you got 10 reps with the ones or no reps with the ones or whatever, we should be the outlet that we can joke about. Now, by the way, my stash was way sweeter than his was. I just want to put that out there.
Well, factually, you don't think he was correct. But
factually, he was absolutely inaccurate. And my fat, it's coming though. It's just coming along. I'm not gonna hate. It's better than that one little thing you used to have.
Hey, stop. How you gonna say I'm not gonna hate?
I digress. I'm sorry, but you know, but let's get a little bit back to that now. Again, I do like to keep things serious. His grades are good. Things are doing well. And I want to do it. And again, this show isn't meant to be a brag session about myself, but it's just kind of the perspective of be cognizant of what role you play in your kids' lives in different parts of their lives. Yeah, my son's 20 years old now. He can vote. You know, he's today is my baby girl's birthday. Happy birthday to Bella.
Happy birthday,
17
Bella.
Today.
The
scary thing is, I gotta start treating her like an adult because she's gonna be casting the vote for our next president. So I gotta understand that she's out here. You know what I mean? She's out here. Right. But she's 17 years old today. A lot of the work has been done. The work of the parent probably is never done, but a lot of the work has been done.
The foundation
has been there. And I just want to try to become the person that my kids can come to with their problems and not the guy who's seeking out their problems and trying to find it and do whatever. Because I mean, not that I think this is something there, but those parents that looked at their kid in that casket said they had absolutely no idea this was going to happen. This was a complete shock to them that their kid would take his own life. So it's tough. So think about the perspective, not to be a downer, start to show off whatever, but a shout out goes out to the family. Again, I don't want to use their name.
Let's do this. Why don't we, without saying their name, why don't we just take a very brief moment of silence for the family, for that young man's spirit, soul, whatever your belief system might be, and just in loving memory of a young person gone too soon and way too soon, unfortunately, by way of suicide. Let's take a moment of silence. Yeah, man, you and I, we were basically, we've known each other long enough to understand the evolution of you understand the evolution of me as a man and vice versa. That was really, I needed it. It was timely because as a coach, a youth football coach, you see all of these. And the reason we call it Fantastical Sport, this particular episode, is a play on words like we always do. But also, if you think of that word fantastical, like it's strange, it's weird, it's created in the mind.
I wanted fantabulous, but that got outvoted.
Fantabulous was good too, but the illusory version of it, right? Because the Fantabulous is you're right, and Fantastic is on the good side. But the reason I went with the Fantastical is because on the illusory side, but we have an imagination that allows us to fill in the blank with these expectations. And I can't see anything shy of, for example, my son being in the green room, drafted top 5 pick. And sometimes because you see it and it's so real to you, you can taste it, touch it, feel it. You want that for your child. As sports parents, I think that we go too far, and I've been guilty of it. That's why I respect our conversation. I see it on a daily basis with some of my kids in youth football. It's like, I living vicariously through the kid. And I'm someone and you're someone that you already lived the dream. So the fact that we can take it too far, knowing that we don't need to live through them. We got our education that, a reputable institution paid for. And we still live off of the wins that we had by way of our athletic prowess and academic achievements through Notre Dame. And yet we still go too far. And so, multiply the degree to which people go too far exponentially when you're talking about, a mom who, has never experienced being on a college campus where, they're paying for your dinner, they're paying for your meal, they're paying for room and board, and to be treated that way, or a dad that, for whatever reason, never got to see, high school football or college football or beyond that. And so I appreciate your stance, man, your perspective. I appreciate you sharing it. And it connects us to, that whole idea of fantastical and illusory, a little more lighthearted stuff. So we'll make the transition now, but I wanted to celebrate you for being a good friend and to both the dad that's dealing with the loss, but also to me and making me understand the magnitude of not having the right levity and the right balance with our kids. So,
and I'll say this last statement on this, and a lot of parents do you, first of all, right? Don't let me tell you what to do. I'm one man's experience. I have a lot of friends whose kids are D1 athletes. I've coached a ton of D1 athletes. Been blessed to have these kids in my life and be able to put my hands on their development and do whatever. And I've seen a lot of parents go too far, and I've seen a lot of parents that start off one way. It's one of those things where one day you wake up and you look and you realize that you've gone too far. It's not one of those things, in my opinion, it's not one of those things that you just come out the gate. And you usually look at those people and you're looking at other parents and you're thinking, I can't believe this person's doing it. Sometimes you don't realize that you're that
person that everyone's
you're that parent, because it doesn't happen just like bang. All of a sudden one day you realize, like, I can't believe this. Like myself, I'm thinking, man, every time I text this dude, I'm asking him the same fucking questions. And I'm asking, why does this dude not want to respond to me?
Right.
Because I'm not asking him something simple. When I come to something different, boom, he responds. That's what he wants. That's what, he's telling me the kind of parent I want to be. So listen to your kids sometimes. Once they've gotten to a certain age, a certain level of success, a certain level of, they're doing the right things, and you're trying to squeeze that last piece of toothpaste out of the success bottle and seeing if you can get a little bit more success. If I just squeeze them a little bit more, let him, if he want that part, he'll put his pinky in there. If he don't want that part, then he gonna go get a new bottle and he gonna work it out himself.
Works it out.
Yeah.
Very good analogy, man. The transition won't be easy, but I'm gonna make it anyway, because the other idea behind Fantastical Sport is the illusory sport that has been fantasy sports. Now, I've been off the fantasy football grid for a while. You and I were in a league. We were in it with former teammates, and it was a way for us to get together, talk shit, and do a draft. And we kept saying we were going to try to do a live draft, and then the pandemic happens. It never happened. But in addition to that, all of us are so busy that it was always tough to do. But it was a safe place for us to talk shit, to be together, to know everyone was healthy and what their families were. So I liked it. But I got to be honest with you, brother. Man, I feel like I saved myself so much time per week, so much stress of, did I get my lineup right?
You are in the throws, though. I'm on the back nine. Like the clubhouse right there. I already know what we drink. What we drinking? Like you're coming close to the turn.
Right.
I feel you. When I quit, I was around your spot. I was like, I can't do this anymore, man.
Yeah, it's just killing my time. I just can't.
It's killing.
But you're back. So
I'm
we wanted to
back.
welcome
Yeah.
you back to fantasy.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's just help the audience understand what drove your decision to come back. I need to know what your fantasy football name is. Hopefully, it's something good, African booty scratcher or something good.
No, I'm mouth shot, because that's what I'm
Mouth shot.
Mouth shot, MOUF. You know,
MOUF, mouth shot. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I draw. You know, I work in corporate America. You know, I went to Notre Dame and different things. So I go. You know, I cross cultural lines back and forth. So I'm in a fantasy football league, and I'm also in a confidence pool, and it's in the same Yahoo Sports. So I translate so that I don't have questions because I'm the only man of melanin in the in the confidence pool. So my name in that is Mouth Shot, so they can understand that.
Pronounced properly.
Pronounced properly, Mouth Shot.
The
funny part about it is I didn't put any thought into it. I joined the league so many weeks apart, and I'm like, okay, I used Mouth Shot a long time ago when we were in our league. And with the F, MOUF, but I was like,
now you pronounce.
So when I started to call myself that in another league, but I was like, man, some people gonna be like, what does
that even mean?
So I said, let me just keep it simple for my light skinned friends and tell them Mouth Shot. But I laughed at myself when I realized I use the same name in both of these things.
That means you're committed to it. I'm committed
to excellence. So last night, what's his name? Amon Ross St. Brown got me 13 points. You know, get me started. You know,
shout out. Okay, St. Brown. Yep. It has changed how you watch the game because I was in my conference. I happened to be with someone who works I can't tell without saying it. This person works in fantasy sports and is a executive of fantasy sports. I give that not to name drop, not a name or try to big shot. I'm saying that to say watching the game with this person. And this person said she is down to, there's a man and a woman, both are executives in fantasy sports world and in government affairs. But she said, oh man, I'm now down to 6 leagues. Down to 6 leagues?
Yeah. I don't even look forward to having that much time on my hands, honestly, because and that's, you have 6 leagues. I got other things to do, man. If I got that much time, I don't have that much time. I don't want that much time.
Yeah, but then also it was a unique experience because she's watching the game, not even really thinking about the game. The outcome of the game has nothing to do. And I'm looking, and so this idea of fantasy sport has, I think, saved live sports. You don't watch anything else live other than sport. And you feel like you are obligated to watch the entire game live because of your connection to fantasy football. Now there's the gambling part too. Now that gambling is legal in just about everywhere, including, in the back pews of the church. I mean, gambling is legal everywhere now. You can straight up gamble in the back of the church house now. And that has a way of drawing you in too to see if you won that money, if the over under go hit, right? But the combination of it is like,
if you win gambling in the church, do you tie 10% or
at least? I think if you win in the church, you got to tie 20%.
Tie 20%.
Yeah, you got to break them off. So, but at the same time, it's like you see this and you think, wow, right? There were things that you couldn't even talk about publicly. At one point, fake football, you'd have got laughed out of the damn room, right? This is illusory fake football, and everybody's talking about it. You have conversations about it, you lead with it. All right. Same thing with betting, right? Now ESPN has their own betting information section that they're talking about it publicly. It's just a weird way to see the evolution, but I think it has saved the viewership of live sports. So welcome back, man. I hope Mouth Shot, your team, does a good job. I hope that you stay up to speed on the injuries and make sure that you got the lineups are always active and up to date. Good luck to you, man.
I may have to get that red zone package so I can find out who's hot and who's not. I will say yesterday I was watching that Chiefs game. I didn't know nobody. We were at a bar and we had a little pool like who's gonna score the next points, and everybody got all the good people were taking. I didn't know who any of these people were. I'm like, who's
right?
This dude? I don't know anybody.
Look, I'm
It's
sure
different,
that
man.
there's so many
You know.
prop bets. I'm sure there was a bet as to who would score the first NFL touchdown in this NFL season, and your boy St. Brown won it. He got the first NFL touchdown. Lions scored
I
first.
had a prop bet where it was Montgomery, St. Brown, Kels, and then some other dude.
It's a parlay.
And
So,
a parlay, and
yeah.
then Poncho, Ronchero, whatever his name is. So then Kelsey's out. It was some nice odds. They threw it to me. It's one of those things where you go in there, they're like, hey, would you like to do this bet?
And you clicked on it.
I clicked them.
You clicked on it.
I was so funny. What's his name? Ronchero should have had a touchdown, and then I don't know what would have happened.
And then
Kels
people
was
like you, when they click on it, it's like, man, that's 300 to 1. That's like, it's always this real
1,600 to 1 odds.
1,600 to 1. And you didn't think that there was no way that you would win it, because I guess there is a way
I was
where
one
they wouldn't
touchdown.
offer it.
If Kels would have played, Kels would have scored one. That's they wouldn't. They'd stop the game and just give him a touchdown. So I just needed Ranchero to score one, and I would have been straight. But meanwhile, I'm out 50 bucks.
Yeah, 50 bucks. I tell people all the time, if you can have fun and still lose money, then gambling is for you. It ain't for me.
Cheeky Black has hooked me up so many times.
Cheeky Black. Is Cheeky Black
he's in the building. I had like $200 in my account, and he gave me this 9-fight parlay that won. So I have all this fun money that I can play with.
You still up? There you go.
I'm way up. And we've lost a lot since then. We lost together though. We lose together. That's my God. We lose together a lot.
Bad boys.
Actually, once he gave me a 19 parlay, and the text message was so messed up, I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't find the fighters. I just did 5. He lost. I won because I only did 5 of the fights he gave me. I won, and he lost 1. He went 8-1. But I missed that. I couldn't find.
You missed that.
I almost felt like I should have slid him a little something.
Cheeky Black, man, you got to come on, man. He is all things handicapping when it comes to some of this.
He knows contact sports.
He does.
Battle sports.
I see. My bad. I didn't acknowledge, man. Some people. Thank you, my man Scott Bibb. He says good afternoon. He also wishes my man Lil Reg.
Reg is healthy. Reg is out there. He's dressed last week. He's dressing this week. Appreciate that.
And then as soon as we acknowledge him, he does something to show that he's on crack. Come on, Glass Bart. We would never fire.
No one's all the way good. Nah.
Yeah.
ETP may have fired us, but we ain't fired him.
Yeah, ETP is rolling. He's trying to make that dough, man. He's out and about.
If you're in the New York City area, you need a house. ETP is your man.
ETP. Hey, we should be sharing his information. I'm only going to charge him a real family 10%. Friends fee for the ad.
Like do what the church would do, 10%.
Church's money. I don't think they're allowed to do that, but who knows?
Okay.
Just promoting illegal activity. Scott Bibb says he's Deuce's agent. Yeah, sometimes that's what it feels like, man. As parents, like we act like the agent is versus their parents. I'm glad you. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, you don't know how timely that was.
I appreciate being appreciated.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So let's hop in, man, to this transfer portal, because the transfer portal has become its own soap opera, right? Mm-hmm. And so the soap opera, you watch the game in week 0 and week 1. Last 2 weeks, Notre Dame's 2-0. I got to take my sons their first Notre Dame game in Notre Dame Stadium, which was dope. That was super dope. Watch their faces light up. People coming down the tunnel.
Did you show them your name in the ring? Is your name up in the ring already?
No.
They didn't get to you yet?
You're talking about in the ring. I didn't go in there. No, you're talking about.
Yeah, it's good to hold them up there. Deuce sees his names up here.
Yeah.
Does it say Bobby or Brainerd?
I've never looked in that ring.
You never looked? I know my name is exactly.
Crazy.
I can happen upon mine by accident. I'd be like, oh, I think it's right there.
I haven't looked yet. But
it's kind of cool.
It is cool. That's next time. That means I got to get back out there. Mm-hmm. But I decided the last minute, and then I was on the road, man, rocking and rolling, 20-hour drive there and back. So, gangster with it, gangsta crazy.
To me, that was just my drive from New Jersey to LaGuardia, 20 hours. Man,
the two can be the same.
I'll never do that again. Never.
You really were mad at me. Why didn't you tell me not to fly to LaGuardia? I was like, I didn't.
I saved a couple miles, and they were kikiing when they're like.
You say that $30.
A couple more miles and flew to Newark. Way better.
Yeah. But hey, you live and you learn, man. If I'd have told you wouldn't have been able to experience it. It wouldn't have meant as much to you. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But this is Tez Walker story. So the NCAA has both blessed the transfer portal, now also unblessed it with this latest decision. So Tez Walker it has reported that he's done one too many transfers, and so UNC has this player that they cannot use. UNC rather, North Carolina. So you reconcile that with the week that was when it comes to Colorado Buffalo football. Went from 1-11 to irrelevant to selling out stadiums, and everybody's talking about Colorado because they're going to upset TCU in their first week, right? Reconcile those two things, because I think 90-something% of Coach Prime's roster right now are in their first year at Colorado. Transfer.
I think I saw there's only one scholarship guy from last year on the whole team.
Wow.
But it could be off. But the fact that we're even
how
talking about
do those two things exist in the same week?
There's guys who transferred to college. There was a guy from Michigan, linebacker, transferred in the spring, did spring ball, and after spring ball, Prime said, "You're cut. Time to go. Appreciate you. Happy birthday, my baby, Tonya." So at the end of the day, how do you go from that to telling this Tez kid, who I think he was at HBCU the first year, didn't play because he was hurt. Then he went to Kent State. I believe he was hurt once there, whatever. Transferred to the school, and now he's trying to transfer to. Went to Kent State, and then now he's trying to transfer to North Carolina. Yeah. And they're saying can't play. There's a tight end that had 9. He's on his 9th year of eligibility. That's in the portal from Oregon State. They got what's his name? JT Daniels, or what's his name?
Yeah, JT Daniels was the one who was at
JT Daniels started out. People don't even remember he went to USC. He went to USC, he went to Georgia, West Virginia, and now he's at Rice. But the way this portal's always been BS, they've always skewed towards the quarterback. Because I remember when the Bears quarterback that we have right now, I'm bad when I think about
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, when he was at Georgia.
No, he's forgettable though. He is forgettable. But anyway,
we're gonna win this week at Green Bay Sunday. I'm gonna be there. All right, I'm gonna be there, and he's gonna win the game.
Let's do it.
Anyway, so he transferred, and he got to, this is before the portal was open like that. He transferred, he got to play right away. The quarterbacks,
it's a timing thing. It's like
they let him do it.
Yeah,
all the quarterbacks, they let him go do it right away. The big name guys, but then you got a guy like poor Tez. So supposedly his grandmother's sick, whatever his reasonings are. With the 6-year eligibility guys, I mean, there's a guy at Northwestern right now, receiver. He played 4 years at Wake Forest, a year at Arizona State. Now he's over here at Northwestern. Got my son sitting on the bench. So you know what I'm saying? But you tell this kid all of a sudden he can't just like they pick and choose. And that's why the essay
it seemed random. It seemed random.
Real random.
And then people made a big deal about the story. And Mac Brown's involved, so maybe that added to why the story was so prominent. But Tez Walker got to be the most unlucky guy in the world. But he's the example that they're trying to set with why you can't use the transfer portal at will when everybody. So it seems when I watch any games, like, oh, this person's 39, this person's 43, 42-year-old,
and got 2 years of eligibility left.
And even if I'm gonna be honest, even Notre Dame, because we got some action in the back. Even Notre Dame is one of those situations where, our starting quarterback is, in his 6th year, right? 6th year.
Beard, real full beard, like grandkid.
But older gentleman, seasoned. Let's not call him old. So it'll be interesting, man. On the other end of that is Coach Prime, who is taking full advantage. And I mean full advantage of the transfer portal. Not only is he taking full advantage of the transfer portal, Coach Prime is taking full advantage of his platform. After he won last week and beat TCU, I mean, he basically went in on the media and said, y'all don't like that. Black man up here being successful with all these black brothers on my team, large, upwards of 70% of my team. And really, asked someone rhetorically in the media gallery, do you believe? And he's like, believe what? See, you don't believe. Next question. Son to everybody. I loved it. But he's sort of been taking the task. But I
like that type of stuff.
Yeah, I do like that type of stuff. That was so Florida. I mean, you could tell my brother was from Florida. That's how we, when you talking about strutting your stuff, he was strutting that stuff. Proud as a peacock, just letting everybody see what it is, baby, in some shades.
Did you kind of feel like he was a little surprised
that he won?
A little. Like he was.
He
I mean,
never
I
won in
expect him to
11 last
cry.
year.
He went through a lot. He did a lot of criticism, whatever. But kind of felt like he was a little surprised himself. Like I can't believe
He
this.
never
Man.
won in 11. You should be surprised when you get a first down of a team that
He was surprised. But hey, look, I owe him a public apology.
public
I'm done.
apology. You
I
gonna
do.
publicly
I
apologize?
didn't think he was gonna do nothing. I thought he was gonna get tore back. All them kids.
Do you think it's too soon? Because he walked out there now. What he did is he added a whole gas station full of gas on top of the fire with his approach being very, very provocative in that post-game interview. Do you think that this is
A little much.
a little much?
A little much because you won a close game against a team that lost everybody, right? All the receivers gone, the quarterbacks
They still
gone.
were preseason. I know preseason
Preseason rankings are trash. But if you think about it, they lost a lot of people. But his son threw 500 yards.
510 to be exact.
510. He said, I ain't throwing that on any level. I'm sweeter here than any level I've played at before.
Yeah.
I think Nebraska, they're probably gonna punch Nebraska right in the throat. But if they do get beat,
I'll
by
be
Nebraska,
watching. Look, that game comes on. It's a big noon Fox game. Comes on at the same time.
That's the most expensive ticket in college right now. No NFL ticket costs more money than this Colorado Nebraska game.
How wild is that? If you think about it, a 1-11 team has been thrust into the spotlight.
Yeah,
I'm mad that I'm going to watch it at at least the first half.
I'm gonna fill my DVR this week. I'm gonna be at the thing, fill my DVR. I'm watching every game on replay.
But it comes on at the same time as the Notre Dame game, and Notre Dame, while it is Notre Dame, y'all in trouble when it comes to viewership because everybody's watching Coach Prime. He is the big ticket. He is the entertainment world's ESPY award winner right now, right? In terms of his accomplishment in the sport, the turnaround that he was able to make, the fact that he went in there unapologetically prime. He coached Prime through and through. The man is rocking a big dookie rope chain like it's 1987. The only thing he don't got is the Jerry curl. He got the same shades. He got the same chain. He got the same walk with a little bit more of a limp to it now. But he be bopping. I
gotta give it to him because look, he got about 7 toes
and figured it out.
And he walk around with so much peacock, like he got the little scooter over there for his knee or the little hoverboard deal he's on.
He bopping.
He still got swag. I'll give it to him. I like Prime as a person. I don't like the fact that he pushed all them kids out because I do think the education's part of it. There's one thing we didn't talk about pregame, but there's like a little rumor saying that there might be some new league that's run by a couple media companies and then the NFL and have like 50 schools involved and do whatever. I like the whole my fault. I just checked. Make sure y'all was great. Make sure
you like the whole NIL.
I like the whole NIL thing and everything's great, whatever. But like, I don't want to get away from the education. I don't want to lose that part. And I feel like we're getting further and further where it's going to be impossible. You can't go to Colorado and get a degree and play for Prime because you're not going to be there long enough. He's shuffling you out. You're not going to get a degree. His graduation rate is going to be 0, right? No one's going to last 4 years. He's going to cut you in your junior year if he can find somebody better. If he's even there. Once his son comes out, he's up out of there too.
Yeah.
But that's the only part of it I don't want to go. Let's not go too far with this.
Yeah.
We get bad. But I don't want an apology. I didn't think he'd be successful. And even though it's only one game, I didn't think he's going to win that.
Look, I won't go as far as say I apologize to him because I thought he was going to drastically increase what we saw from a productivity standpoint versus last year. And, that's pretty secure. He's 1-0 and they were 1-11. So it's pretty secure. This notion that he's going to drastically improve how they perform this year versus last year. I thought he was going to be a little smoother with the media. I thought he was going to play this hand a way that showed that he was a media darling and he was going to turn the naysayers into supporters. Because just like, the Randy Mosses of the world and the Keyshawn Johnsons of the world, Deion's got this je ne sais quoi about him, the it factor that people are attracted to him. He's magnetic. The number 1 quarterback in the next recruiting cycle has already said that he's going to take a trip to Colorado. The kid, Dylan, whatever his name, Edwards, the kid who scored the 3 touchdowns. He was a flip from Notre Dame. And when you look at what he's been able to do in turning people's hearts and minds to Colorado, a place that's cold, a place that's in a rural area that has not been known for diversity, has not been known to be, this big city school. And if we want to talk about football, has been the laughing stock in college football for as long as I can remember, 23 plus years, maybe. He turned that program into an overnight sensation that everyone is talking about. They have the highest value tickets. It's tough to find a seat to go watch them play, and he did it within 6 months. 6 months, right? I thought he was going to take a different approach with the media, and so now, by putting the target on his back even more, by brightening the light even more, by making him public enemy number one to an even more severe and intense degree. I think he's also helped his kids out. Like Shador is going to have everybody watching him play. Shiloh is going to have everybody watching him play. Junior, his other son that is controlling his social media, is having everybody analyze his social media approach. And, to come full circle, the pressures that we put on our kids, we talk about that fantastical sport and the illusion that we can do all of these things for our kids and put them in position to succeed. From a father standpoint, shout out to him, man, because he's done it. He has done it. He has put his boys in the perfect driver's seat to succeed. Shiloh, I think, is able to overcome the transfer rule because he transferred from from South Carolina, Gamecocks to Jackson State, because he made sure that Shiloh graduated. And so this is considered a graduate transfer, which is under a different rule guideline than if you have not graduated. And just, from a family man standpoint, shout out to Coach Prime, man. You might love him, you might hate him, you might be in a situation where you can't stand him, but you absolutely have to respect what that man is able to do for Colorado, what he's been able to do for his own namesake, and his other two sons. Shout out to him.
But you're supposed to get 30 days when your coach leaves. Maybe it's only if your coach gets fired. But just because it's his dad, his coach left, he's supposed to get 30 days. With Northwestern, we got 30 days when Fitz was fired.
Oh, yeah, it's a transfer. But I think his came at the expense of he had to graduate. So he stayed on campus. Shiloh, the older one, the defensive back.
Yeah.
So that's Colorado, man, in a nutshell. Let's hop into some NFL, brother. Because we got to get there. The NFL kickoff was last night. We saw the Detroit Lions from your NFC North show and prove that Chicago is almost certain to be last in the division. I think that's what I saw last night.
What channel did you see it on? ESPN Deportes?
I mean, what I was able to garner,
I
was able to garner is that Chicago Bears will be last place in that conference.
What are you going to say after we beat Green Bay Sunday?
Man, you don't believe that. You kind of
believe it so much. I'm going to the game.
People go to the game knowing that their team gonna lose, and you would constitute one of those people if you go on Sunday against Green Bay. You know they're gonna lose, but it's good that you're gonna support your team. You think y'all gonna beat Green Bay
by 9?
By 9. See, that's how I know you don't believe. You start throwing out names like that, numbers like that. By 9.
Y'all heard it here. Yeah, I heard it here.
The Lions is not hypothetical anymore. Everyone's been saying to us that the Lions were going to be good, and you and I question.
KC was missing. That second best player on the team was missing.
But they still are the Super Bowl champs.
And my homeboy was throwing the ball bad, so he was throwing people the crossing routes right when they cross.
Are we going to give credit to Eric Bieniemy? First game without Eric Bieniemy, and they could not close the deal offensively.
Eric Bieniemy never threw football in his life.
I know, but Eric Bieniemy was. I'm saying give credit to him because without Eric Bieniemy, they were not able.
Well, we have a chance this weekend when those Commanders come out to play and see what we could give him all this credit. We'll see what they do. Interview with or without you. But I'm not gonna say they lost because of Bieniemy. I think they lost. It's a long season. 17 games.
17 games, baby. 17 games. But we are
off. My homeboy thought it was the last preseason game. He didn't realize that it was the first game. He thought this was the 4th preseason. So my homeboy was tripping.
Not having Travis Kelce definitely hurt. And what's the guy's name? Tony? I can't think of his first name. Who dropped all the passes? The New York Giants guy. He was.
Don't worry about learning his name because he might not be there today.
I don't know. Hold on. KC. I can't. Not Ladarius. Kadarius. There you go. I'm gonna call him Ladarius. Kadarius Toney last night was woefully bad when it came to doing his job.
He's
As
a
wide
body
receiver
catcher.
in the
He's a
NFL.
body catcher.
Your job is to catch the ball.
First and foremost.
Yeah, first and foremost. There was a pick six that could be personally written off by Ladarius Toney. Right, the pick six was right off of his hands into a defensive back's hands, and then 30 or so yards later into the end zone, and he's lighting up the scoreboard for the wrong team. Then when they have a must score drive, Mahomes does an amazing job of getting away from the pressure, throws the ball, hits him right in his hands, and he looked very awkward trying to catch the ball.
He's trying to body catch it. He's trying to body catch it.
Yeah, so, but it is a long season. And I think that he did a good job of turning his career around. I hope he didn't turn it around again and go right back in the previous direction last night. But you add all that up, Kansas City still had a chance to win. But shout out to the Lions, man. The Lions have been bad for a long time. And, I think they found the right coach.
And they're still bad. They're going to get beat by the Chicago Bears.
Hey, come Monday night, there are going to be two different types of groups.
I want that same energy when the Bears beat the Packers. I want that same energy.
If they do, you got it. But there are going to be two groups of people in the NFL Monday night.
Those that are 1-0.
1-0. 0-1.
We got those that are in last place in the division and those that are in first place in the division.
That's what it is.
That's
right?
trash.
Tied for first and tied for last. But, it is what it is, man. Let's hop into this basketball because we're gonna get out of here quickly. USA basketball. A few weeks ago,
do we have a team still?
We do have a team.
Ain't no Kobe on the team.
We do have a team.
Very apparent. There's no Kobe on the team.
Yeah, we do have a team, and Noah Lyles, who is the sprinter, who went to the World Championships and won not only the 100 and the 200. So he became the guy from a sprinting perspective who did the double. It's always a big feat to win the 100 and 200. But he got a third gold medal in the 4x1. And no sooner than he got off the award stand and had his 3 gold medals sizzling hot from him becoming a household name. None of y'all knew who Noah Lyles was, unless you were track enthusiasts like myself. You didn't know who Noah Lyles was. The man has dominated the 200 for a long time now, but we didn't know who he was. He became a household name. And what does he do with that moment, with that 15 seconds of fame? Because that's about all you got when it comes to track. He says he's offended and almost brought the tears, insulted that the champion of the NBA on a year-by-year basis is called the world champion. Now, a lot of NBA greats took issues with that because this is where the best players in the world play. Fast forward, and our USA basketball team goes out there in the World Cup and loses not once, but now twice. And this time eliminated by Germany. Is Noah Lyles sitting back somewhere laughing? Because we get, you can say what you want to say, but we are not the best in the world if you're using the World Cup as a measuring stick for who's the best in the world. Officially, as of today, we're not.
His point. Well, I mean, we still the best players in the world are not on that team, right?
Semantics. We're not the best in the world. World Cup is going.
Here's the thing: let me ask you this question: the World Cup, the best players. Did Joker play for his team?
I don't think he played this year. No, he has played for his national team. But
so my thing is, are the best players in the NBA from their respective? I mean, I seen Ricky Schroeder out there. What's the dude's name? Schroeder. I didn't even know he was German. But
you call him Ricky Schroeder.
Dennis Schroeder was that?
Dennis Schroeder, man. Yeah, Ricky Schroeder is from the family. What is that? Save the Bells. Silver Spoons. Yeah, Silver Spoons.
Ricky Schroeder. You know my name. My CTE kind of kick in around.
Don't worry about that. I got you. That's why I got you.
But Ricky Schroeder, he was out there. I don't know who. We had some good players that we should have won, but we didn't have our best. Because
Anthony Edwards is probably our best player. You got
he's a very good basketball player. Anthony Edwards is a very good basketball player, but he's not. You know what I mean? I guess, but like if you put the freak, I don't know, man. Basketball, we starting to even this a lot. We got a lot of international players that can go. A lot of people can go. You only need 5.
So it's yes or no? Yes or no answer. You heard Noah Lyles. You heard how he presented it. Now you see that we had to deal with this reality that we didn't win the World Cup. Was he right? Is it insulting to call the champion of the NBA the world champion, considering that they don't play against the world? They play against whoever is playing in the NBA at that time. And a lot of players, whether they're younger and they are using the European leagues to hopefully one day get to the NBA, whether they're older and they've decided that at this point in their career, they want to play overseas and maybe their home nation, or maybe they just, never rediscovered. But there are players around the world that are playing basketball that do not play in the NBA, yet the NBA champion is called the world champion.
He has a point, but he's wrong, and this is why.
Okay.
Do that German team right there, could they beat the Denver Nuggets?
Then they should have put the Denver Nuggets as our international team.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
The
Denver Nuggets has players from all over the world, right?
Right.
On the Denver Nuggets.
Right.
Can any basketball team in the world beat the Denver Nuggets?
I think what you're trying to ask me,
very clear.
What you are asking me and what you expect me to answer is how I want to answer it. But the truth of the matter is I don't know. I don't think so.
The NBA champion does not raise a trophy and say, our Americans are the best in the world. They say we're the best in the world. When Milwaukee won, led by the Greek freak, he's from Greece. Could anybody in the world, any team, beat Milwaukee that year?
Your rhetorical question.
Can anybody beat?
Is well taken. What I'm saying to you is
we're not eliminating the world and saying that there's other countries saying we have no foreign players. We have foreign players here too.
We don't have.
This is the best team in the world. It is.
We don't have proof. We don't have proof of it because they've never played each other, and that's what Noah Lyles was saying. Is that in order?
I like what he said because we're talking about Noah Lyles right now, and track we'd already be over it. So I appreciate him for doing that, and he got himself in the news. But the flaw in there is the NBA is an international league. The best players in the world play in the NBA, not just the best players in the United States. The best players in the world from every country play in the NBA, right? You got some developing guys.
Yes.
Who doesn't play in the NBA that's in another country right now that's sweeter than the NBA guys?
And if they're not here, they'll be here in 2 years.
They'll be here in 2 years because they're not here because they're not ready yet. So yeah, we take everything. So it's the world champion because it's like the Premier League, the soccer Premier League. The U.S. ain't over there. But our best U.S. soccer players are playing in that Premier League, right? Because that league is better than anything we have over here. I.e., look at Messi. He got like 39 goals over 4 games. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and selling out everything.
Yeah. So that's where he's wrong. I appreciate what he's saying. Man, you're the fastest in the world. You can say what you want to say. Who am I to talk? I'm fastest in the world. Shut up. You know what I mean? Shut up.
Shut up. You want to race? How about that?
Yeah.
Let's race it
outside right now.
I don't know, man.
He got a point, but he's wrong.
I was happy that a track guy immersed himself into the news cycle well beyond a track meet. Because while the world championships are going on, track matters. As soon as the 4x4 is over, we forget the track even exists. I think it's the best sport on the planet, and followed closely by football. But I love me some track. Football being the best team sport on the planet. So I was just happy that Noah Lyles had the conviction to say it. It just seemed random as out of the blue because it was your time to talk about your times, pun intended, and how you did the double, winning the 100 and 200, and then got 3 gold medals and did it in front of the world and represented our country. And it instead, and Sha'Carri Richardson came to his defense and said he's got a point. But I never even thought that athletes, because I guess with how we do things, ESPN and shows like ours, we're so used to comparing that maybe he just felt compelled to address it. But I never even thought an athlete would think like that. Like, I'm offended that they call them world champions.
You don't think that because that's not true. There's no team.
His world championship is more authentic because he had to race against anybody in the world that called themselves fast in the 100 and 200. As a pure world champion than basketball. Will you at least give him that?
The only thing I keep going back to is all of the good basketball players from the other countries play in the NBA. If they didn't do that, if the NBA was stuck for Americans, and then you had like people like the Joker who you think maybe if he played here, he'd kill. All of those good countries, everybody got there. Send me your 7-footers, whoever from different countries, they play in the NBA. So it's really truly a world championship because each team,
including who you call Ricky Schroeder, Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
And you look at what's his name? I forget his name, from Canada, Gilchrist, Shane Gilchrist. But you got these guys who the star of almost every team that is at this point in World Cup is an NBA player. So I guess both sides of the argument.
I say 5 teams. Hey Noah, what team you think can beat them? Now I get it. Track is a one-on-one sport for the most part. Unless you're doing the thing, you're running. And people switch countries too, which I think is trash when it comes to individual Olympics. You're supposed to go to the country that you're from, man. You can't be switching countries.
Switching code switching.
Come on, man.
Let's see what you claiming. I'm claiming Switzerland.
But I appreciate him for that. All press is good press.
Yeah. Well, let's see. All press being good press. And in this episode of Fantastical Sport, we no longer have to use our imaginations. It's no longer illusory to think of who's going to be the next Serena. Coco Gauff is out there balling. She has had what I would consider to be an amazing summer. And she's continued that amazing summer with her play now in the U.S. Open. So she is now advanced. We don't have to dream about it anymore and wonder who's the next one. She has proven that she's the next one. And she is now the first teenager to advance to the finals since 1999 when Serena Williams did it. And that's pretty freaking impressive. 1999, that's 24 years ago. And we've been waiting for the heir apparent. We've been waiting for someone to do it. And the fact that it's another young teenage American tennis player that happens to be melanated. She's from Delray, Florida. Florida is what we do. Florida, FLA, that's how we do it. But
she didn't go to St. Thomas Aquinas.
She didn't go to St. Thomas Aquinas. Not everybody gets in. I don't know what her academic status was.
Yeah, we don't.
She could have got one of them letters.
She might not be a good test taker. You never know.
Like Coco Gauff, we like you. We think you're gonna be an amazing athlete. You just won't be here. So I don't know if she got one of them.
It's just not gonna be.
Not gonna be here. But shout out to her, man, to see her sister doing her thing and keeping sort of the hope alive and the torch that has been passed from Serena that embodies everything that we think of, the strength and everything, and when it comes to being a pioneer and overcoming so many adversities. Coco Gauff is doing it as well. I know in the earlier rounds there was an opponent who had a whole bunch of white tears when it came to her treatment in the U.S. Open. But I think Coco Gauff is becoming a sensation. The staller. And she had to do it with a protest. I don't know why people do this, but a 50-minute delay because protesters, somebody had a shirt on that said "End fossil fuels." The particular person there were a group of protesters shouting from up.
What did he do exactly? You read it earlier.
The last one glued himself to the stands, glued himself to the stands, and so that is why off camera, no one really knew what the delay was about.
Is there a cause that you believe in enough to glue your feet?
Glue my feet? No. Let's talk about feet to the fire. No, I'm not.
Because I'm just if I'm security, I'm just yanking him off the ground.
Yeah,
I'm not calling any emergency, nothing. I'm just pulling him off. And if he loses a full, all the fingerprints off his toes, all that stuff, I don't care.
And they're bragging backstage.
I'm tackling.
He's like, yeah, I got this snatch.
There's nothing that I'm that concerned about.
No,
that I would glue my feet to the ground.
Look,
I wish I had that kind of conviction.
When you look at the weather patterns, when you look at the weather patterns, and there's been drastic weather patterns, I understand. Right? Why someone would be?
It was a full moon.
The full moon yesterday?
Not that long ago. Not that long ago. After the effects, I don't know over here in Loud there's a full moon. Is a full moon over here? Mean there's a full moon everywhere?
I think so.
Maybe
neither one of us paid attention to science. That's obvious. I think so. But the point is, I don't have that much conviction about anything. I'm gonna glue myself to the stadium floor. But beyond all of that,
not even 1 foot.
Both foot. Both.
Would you do 1 foot for something?
I'm not a 1 footer or a 2 footer.
Maybe I glue
my body to the stadium.
Maybe my shoe. I might could glue a shoe, but my foot, my bare foot, and the court hot too, right? The foot, feet.
Yeah. But I will say that Coco Gauff advancing to the finals when she played the number 2 in the world. So shout out to Coco Gauff, man. It's good to sort of relive it, and it's refreshing. So let's give her a good old applause. And then we'll go home,
I
man.
look weird, but I'm petting my dog. All right, so
You
everybody,
petting your dog?
rocking my dog won't leave me alone.
Hey,
Y'all want to see the dog? Y'all see the little dog
Oh,
over there?
they did
Man,
that
got my
dog.
little dog, man.
Oh, look at that, man.
All
Look
the
at
French
that
bulldog lovers.
Y'all kind of look alike, man. That's what they say.
We don't, man, that's
With
not
your
fair.
dog, y'all start
That's
looking
not
alike.
fair.
You look like your
Don't
dog.
tell me I look like my bulldog. That's not. That's not. My nose is too big.
Let's go home with this, man, because we do have the ball hog spotlight moment. You know what it is. I pass you the ball. You in the middle of the court, man. We need a shot. We need a shot. And don't be like my guy. I think that was, I don't know who that was. Somebody got the draw shook out of him, which ended up being a poor defensive possession for the USA team. Germany hits a three in the corner. I mean, fell. Literally fell. I don't.
Maybe he glued his. Maybe he glued one of his feet to the ground.
It looked like he had foot glued to the ground.
He's protesting something.
So don't be like that guy when I pass you this ball. But you know what it is, man. It's a ball spotlight moment where you get the rock, you decide what you do with it. And so, with no further ado, man, ball's in your court. What's your ball hog spotlight moment for this week?
I don't like to pocket watch. Pocket watching when you pay attention to what other man's making. But when those pockets are sitting this high off the ground, it's hard not to pocket watch. But shout out to Joe Burrow. 5-year, $275 million contract extension. Yeah. $219 million, 0.01. I don't know who's annoying. They had to put that in there. Guaranteed money.
They put 0-1. That's when you got to back in.
219.01 million guaranteed. Wow.
Stop the shit out of you. You're doing your job too well.
Tax purposes. And that makes him the highest paid player in NFL history. Although I thought Watson had more guaranteed money than that.
What's the name?
Watson.
Jalen Hurts?
Watson had 230 or something.
I think Watson's had a lot of contingencies.
I think his bread is so crazy they just set it off to the side. They don't even Watson's deal did not count because it shouldn't have happened.
The outlier. I'm going in the same direction.
Go ahead, what you got?
With my ball spotlight ball, I'm going in the same direction. So we both were pocket watching. While in our regular days, we don't like to pocket watch. This is the Ball Hog Sports Talk.
This is for you. We pocket watching for you guys.
Pocket watching for you. The purpose of the people. For the purpose of the people, we pocket watch it. And it is where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And from a business standpoint, the illustrious St. Thomas Aquinas of the greater Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the illustrious St. Thomas Aquinas of the greater Fort Lauderdale, Florida area has produced yet another one. And not the big brother, Joey, but the little brother, Nick, got his extension with the San Francisco 49ers and earned every penny of it. But he also broke records for defensive contracts and has $122 million, maybe 0.01 $1 million in guaranteed contract money. It was 5 years, something crazy, but 122 million of it is guaranteed. So as the pocket watcher of the day, shout out to the St. Thomas Aquinas grad getting paid. I don't agree with most of his political views, but I do agree that he deserved that money. He's played.
I want to ask you listeners out there, what do you think Joe Burrow can buy that Bosa can't buy? Let's talk about that. What
that little distinction? One has 200. How much was his guarantee?
Got 219 million guarantee. He had 122 million guarantee. But like, what is there out there that one can buy? That one would buy, that the other one's like, man, you got me.
Yeah, you got that. That's your.
Or are we just both straight?
Yeah, put his hand down in the bid. Sold to the man over here with 219 million. Take your little 122 million, go somewhere. Big bank take little bank. But no, man, a great job of bouncing off the ropes. It is no longer the summer, so we back to work. It's after Labor Day. We're going to bring y'all what we do. We're going to bring you sports, business, entertainment. We're going to bring it to you the way we do it, rough, rugged, and raw. It's the Ball Hog Sports Talk crew in the building. Y'all know what it is, man. We did it. We did the damn thing from the Middle Coast. We both in the Middle Coast right now. But my guy, the Big Flow Show, enjoy y'all weekend. Make sure that y'all are got your sleeves rolled up. Throw the hot dogs and the hamburgers on the grill. This is the beginning of a football season. And to watch that ball kicked off on Thursday, oh, man, it is no longer illusory. It ain't fantastical. It ain't fantasy. It's real football, and it's back, baby. So enjoy the weekend. Go Irish, and whoever
And go
else-
Cats, baby. Cats
Go
against
Cats.
the world, baby.
Cats against the world.
the world. Let's go.
Cats
Let's
against the world,
everybody.
man. Who does Northwestern have this week?
UTEP. We've been
UTEP.
about these
All right, let's do this, man. Let's go. Let's
UTEP,
go.
man.
Hey,
UTEP.
man, go Cats beat UTEP. It is what it is.
Let's go.
It's the Ball Hawk Sports Talk, man. We appreciate you guys every week. And this won't cost you nothing. It literally won't cost you a dime, but you be doing a world of favor for us. Please like, please comment, please share, please tag a friend, please tag a photo, tag anybody that you know, and please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and the podcast. Get this thing rocking and rolling, y'all. It's the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. We stay consistent. We stay working, and we going to stay on the grind to bring you some more of the sports business entertainment. So with that, we'll see you next week because we is out. Peace.